And you see the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals for the very first time. 47 seasons here in Atlanta.
Great energy in the building, Ernie. Great energy.
And a great start. They hit 10 of their first 13 shots, and Al Horford getting the bunny there.
Well, when they move the basketball, Ernie, and they move their bodies, they're very tough to beat. But when they play stationary and play pick and roll with just Teague out front, I think they're easy to guard as they work down the stretch.
That Korver belonged to, wound up to be a three-point play, and there is Tristan Thompson. It's a 6-point game after one, Atlanta with the lead. Now Paul Millsap, Shaq.
You know, Paul Millsap playing very aggressive. That's a nice move down there. You know, he tried to do his best to keep him in it, but the Kings just too much for him, Ernie.
And so is J.R. Smith. How about his night, Kenny?
Yeah, J.R. Smith, you know, became unconscious, shot the ball. He's a bad shot maker. That's a tough shot. Most people are bad shot, but he makes bad shots.
He's looking like Curry out there, huh?
The defense doesn't matter. But, you know, the Hawks, you know, did a decent job, but I thought it was too much of this down the stretch. Yes. Even though he makes this shot, he couldn't make those shots down the stretch or make those plays.
27-point night for Jeff Teague, and then later in the first half, swing it, and then Damari Carroll, nice dish inside to Horford. 39-35.
I thought the tempo of the game was way too slow for the Hawks. They need to play at a much faster pace.
Up top again to Horford, 41-37. Another look on the feed from Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, those pick and rolls in transition are much better than those pick and rolls in the half court.
Meantime, here goes LeBron.
Oh, this is just, you know, I'm better than you. You can't guard me. Remember I talked about it at the beginning of the game. I said it's going to be can you guard us or can you can't guard me. When you got Cleveland, can you guard me? And I don't think they can, and they have not been able to guard LeBron James in any magnitude.
Just for the record, nobody can guard LeBron.
Well, they could slow him down. He hasn't won it every year.
Time running out in the first half, and Bazemore cans it, and then casually heads to the locker room. Game tied at 51 at the half in the third.
The Hawks just went cold, Ernie.
But you look at this, these are like standstill. This was kind of that helped end the drought a little bit, but these standstill jump shots or pick and roll, you know, J.R. Smith was like, can you guard me? That's not a can you guard us.
Well, listen,
that's a can you guard me.
J.R. Smith is a streak shooter, and once the house started on fire, Kenny, what you got to do?
Oh, you got to get the women and children out.
That's it. He was just going to burn down the house. He was on fire.
So it went from 63 apiece to 71-63, and then the Hawks come back, and that's Bazemore.
Get some of that. Smile for the camera.
Goes aggressive to the hole, throws it down like I used to do on Chuck.
74-67 the count after three. In the fourth, for J.R. Smith.
Can you guard
Curry out there, huh, Kenny?
Yeah, can you guard me? This has nothing to do with us. This is about me. You can't guard me, and then I'm going to score. Until the Hawks figure out how to guard guys individually. Can you guard me? He's saying, Kyle Korver, you can't stay in front of me. I'm going to shoot it. I have confidence. LeBron James on the bench.
Yeah, but can he play like that for 4 games? What you think, Chuck?
He don't have to play because he doesn't have to play like that.
Actually, he does, because remember, Kyrie's hurt. So, you know, Kyrie's not really Kyrie, so, you know, you're going to need this guy
to
play
I told you before the game, one of the reasons I picked the Cavaliers, this is their one game one of the others won for them tonight.
Right. Here's J.R. again. He had 8 threes on the night. 87-74, and here comes LeBron
again
fading away. 15-point lead, and then the Damari Carroll situation came up.
Unfortunate right here. It gives out. His leg just gives out. Looks very bad on film. Hopefully it just looks bad.
Yeah, you heard David Aldridge give his report, and they were maybe optimistic that it wasn't as bad as it appeared
Hopefully
to be.
It's just hyperextension.
We're going to have an MRI on Thursday. But he was the leading scorer for the Hawks through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Did not have a good scoring night tonight, and then ends painfully for him in the fourth quarter. The Hawks put a little run together, though.
Ernie,
got it to single digits, and this they had to review for about 25 minutes, and they decided
the reason the Hawks got back in the game, for some reason, the Cavaliers started just holding the ball for letting LeBron go one-on-one, and he didn't score. That's when the Hawks made their run.
So now 91-87, and here LeBron gets a little daylight, and then that happened.
That cannot happen, Ernie.
Yeah, that can't happen.
You can't dribble from from half court and nobody steps in front of him.
Oh, yeah, you can. It happened right here.
Wait, what happened? Who stepped in front of him?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. You said that can't happen. I said it just did.
But you know what? Reggie Miller makes a good point. Good point. Paul Millsap should not be playing LeBron at the half court. Step back, let him drive to you, then play defense from there.
But shouldn't the other four guys have a foot in the paint?
Yes.
My goodness. Shouldn't you have a foot in the paint? That's LeBron James.
I agree, but
you got to pick your poison, though, Kenny.
I'd rather have him.
But you can't let a guy check. You can't. First of all, Reggie's right. I don't understand why Millsap is trying to guard him.
Right.
But you can't let a guy dribble from half court and get a dunk. That should never happen.
A monster dunk.
Sharpshooting Smith. We have one of those on the set as well. But this one played in the game tonight.
We're not living in the past. We're living in the present.
Just some props from my colleague here.
We're not living in the hateration either.
28. How would you describe what you saw from him tonight?
Well, you know, again, the ability to make tough shots, J.R. Smith has always had. The question has been, when he's not making tough shots, will he take good shots to get back on? So he didn't have to get back on because he was on and he was stepping back. He was in motion. He was in the rhythm. But the problem with that is, can he take good shots when he's not making the tough shots? That's been his problem over his career, not the fact that he could get hot and do what he did tonight.
I want to make a point. I played with a lot of great shooters that used to get into the arena before the game. When we came in here, he was out shooting with Damon Jones. He had a rhythm then, so I kind of knew that if his first couple shots went down, that he was going to have a good night. But, he had some crazy shots. But the question is, can he do that for 4 games?
But that's the one thing always about JR. Once he makes bad shots, and once he gets in the zone, we've seen this a lot. But the only problem is about taking bad shots when you're not on. They just bad shots.
It's bad shots.
But he was fantastic tonight.
And Ernie, what I thought overall when I watched it, I just thought the moment was a little bit too big for Atlanta. It just felt like they got into uncharted water.
No.
They didn't feel. No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I thought that their ball movement and body movement stopped, and then they went into this pick and roll half court Atlanta basketball that really didn't get them here.
Well, see, and I disagree with that because they got off to a terrific start. And the game, it was a tie game at halftime, and then they got stagnant. And talking
that's the moment. The moment is in the second half.
The moment would have been happened when it started because the coach talked about before the game, he said, we want to play fast the entire game. We want to push it at every opportunity. I went to the coaches meeting today, and that's what he said. And we talked at halftime. That game was way too slow because the Hawks do not want to play half-court basketball.
No, and you have to do the things that got you here in the first place, too. And they're the second-best three-point shooting team in the Eastern Conference in the regular season. They go 4 for 23 from deep tonight. And now if you're Atlanta and you lose the opener and the uncertainty of DeMarre Carroll, who's your primary defender on LeBron James, I mean, this is something to regroup from.
It really is.
Because 48 hours from now, you got to play game 2.
It is, hopefully DeMarre Carroll is okay. Just let me start off by saying that. But we know when Jeff Teague is aggressive. We know when Kyle Korver is hitting shots. We know when there's energy in the building. We know when they play aggressive and get interior paint shots, they can stay in the game. But if they shoot 4 from 23 and then let LeBron drive down the lane and get a monster dunk, it's going to be a long night. But again, I still need more for Kyle Korver. I understand he can't get his own shots, but today when he did get open, he hit 3 nice shots. He needs to do that a couple more times.
Yeah, I'm from the school of thought, Ernie, there's always a reason why you don't shoot well, and there's always a reason why you don't play well. It's not just you didn't do it. I feel that there is a tempo that was created in the first half until the game got in question. When the game is in question in the second half, that tempo made them nervous. No one wanted to make that mistake. The tempo slowed down. Jeff Teague had to play one-on-one too much to me. In other games, in other series, they kept that momentum going. Even in the Washington series games that they lost at the buzzer and things of that nature, they played well throughout those moments. I didn't see that today.
Go ahead, Chuck.
I think the one thing they got going for them right now, the game will be at home. I think losing Carroll and getting beat really soundly tonight, if they had to go to Cleveland for the next game, I think they'd be mentally depressed. They're going to have to get a great effort from the home crowd Friday night to get them pumped back up because there is a mental scar tonight, losing your best defender and also losing the first game at home, giving away home court. So the best thing they got going for them is to play at home next game.